Welcome to the Ricovibes Video Podcast. The Ricovibes Video Podcast, featuring today's hottest artists, entertainment news, and social commentary. The Ricovibes Video Podcast, covering entertainment worldwide. And now, here's your host, Ricovibes.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's yours truly, Ricovibes, and welcome to another exciting edition of the Ricovibes Video Podcast. In this edition, I feature two of the Virgin Islands ambassadors. I'm talking about none other than Ja Lion of Ja Lion Sound and the Ricky Smiley Show, and later on, I've got the one and only Pressure Bus Pipe. So I invite you to stick around for the next hour or so and learn more about Ja Lion Sound and Pressure Bus Pipe. We'll be right back.
A chica wow, wow, wow. Okay. Oh, Danny, you love so good, I wanna tell somebody. You smile so bright when you just meet Johnny. Girl, you too bad, girl, you too good. Stop life on the man, you know I get dude. I know wrong if the man can't do what me do. You don't love it if I do what me too. We make you go along so from a good house in a St. Andrew. You go on like the party, depend on you. I when your part never pay for no dance yet. Oh, nanny, you love so good, I wanna tell somebody. You smile so bright when you just meet Johnny. She call me daddy, yeah. Oh, nanny, you love so good, I wanna tell somebody.
Custom whip, man push a girl.
Yo, Atlanta, Georgia, the one you turn up and it turn up loud. Friday, November 29th is a Black Friday extravaganza. It's all about a night called Cold Black.
A father gonna save them even know that.
It's a everybody wear black party. Cold Black, inside of the Canla, with music by Tony Mataran.
You don't know it's your boy Tony Mataran, I say it's all about Cold Black. Friday, November 29th, Mataran live and living colors.
New 4G's on the G.
Alongside Slaughter Tone, Negus British and proper English.
Yo, the whole of New York come out. ATL, yo, Florida come in.
Tickets available online at codeblackatl.eventbrite.com. Yo, Atlanta, God know everybody a talk about that party. It's all about the big Black Friday extravaganza. Code Black, Friday, November 29th. Going down inside the Kinla. 2942 Ember Drive. Brought to you by Bright Star Entertainment and Icons Entertainment. Alongside Unitech Entertainment.
Girl, them hot, sauce boss type. Truck star pull up in a fast ride. Nothing but wear and a half price. Truck suit beat with a half white. My chain them bright like starlight. Whole team out so we alright. Every girl one piece of star life. Drop some sauce and away them girl at top.
Bad man out and stunting. Kyle them thick like dumpling. Girl with big booty jumping. Action ready for the thumping.
Every day na party, every day na jolly, oh. Oh, you move your body, no time for story, oh. Where my woman, we supposed to the party, oh. No time to check time. Everybody shake it, baby, shake it. Oh, your mama, hey.
Every girl just tick it and a 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 tick it and a
Go down.
Me no tell you no the place I go turn up back again. Elephant man with the energy again. Answers again, but them no dance from when.
For the past 15 years or so, I've watched Ja Lion grow into a fine ambassador for the Virgin Islands, a world-class traveler, and a wicked selector. Folks, I met up with Ja Lion recently at Chef Tony's restaurant. It's yours truly, Ricovibes. Welcome to the Ricovibes Video Podcast. Now, when you think of the Virgin Islands, you think of three beautiful tropical islands. And when you think of ambassadors for the Virgin Islands, 5 names, count them. 5 names come to mind. Basketball star Tim Duncan, Rock City, Pressure Bus Pipe, Benny Demas, and my special guest, Jalayan.
I feel like a boss.
I know, man. How does it feel to get mentioned in that set of names?
Man, yo, I'm glad to be on Ricovibes, you know what I mean? Interview, podcast, you know what I mean?
It's mad. So what's going on, man? Where you been? What you been doing?
Just working non-stop, man. Just got back from the Virgin Islands 2 weeks ago. I had my birthday bash getaway with me and Club Master.
I saw that.
Yeah, we have our annual thing down there, you know?
Yes. So I like that you haven't left him. I mean, when I met you amongst him.
Yeah.
He's still amongst you
all
these years later.
All day. I met Crunk when I was 14 years old, and you know, I've been rocking with him ever since. Matter of fact, his mother was my teacher in high school.
Okay.
And in class, I'm always talking about music, talking about DJing and all of that. So when he came to school to see his mother, as soon as she saw him, she ran to him like, oh my God, please do something with this young man, because all he's doing is talking about music in my class every day.
So this is what you wanted to do from day one then?
Honestly, so, you know, I'm very good at school and stuff. I was taking a lot of honors classes, so I always thought I was going to be an engineer, you know, because like I said, I was very good at school. So I always thought I was going to be an engineer, going to go to college, get a degree, graduate, make 70 grand off the rip, and I'm going to be rich and everything will be good. Right. So that was the plan. That was the plan when I was younger. But, you know, I fell in love with music and DJing around like 13. I was totally obsessed with DJing, man.
Was there anyone in particular or anything in particular that got you?
That drew me to it?
Yeah.
So Sundays, I'm not sure how it is in Jamaica, but like Sundays in the Virgin Islands is like the beach day where everybody going down on the beach. Right? So I live on the west side of the island. We have a lot of beaches on the west side. So I ride my bike down to by the beach on Sundays, and a lot of the big sound them would be string up on the beach on Sundays, right? With the DJ them and everything. So I would go down there and I would just watch them just all day, man, and just be really amazed with just like the turntables and, you know what I mean, them and mixing.
About record dates.
Well, so that was maybe 2000, that's about like 2002.
Okay.
So they were using, you know, the American Audio CD,
yes.
where you press the play and then the cue and then. So I would be watching.
You were just getting into CDs.
Then. Yeah. So I would be watching them pressing the play and the cue and then doing something like this. So I would be like, yo, what is he doing? And then, you know, you got the mic man turning up, you know, that kind of way. And I was just really just obsessed with it, man, and really intrigued by it. You know, so, you know, people started recognizing my face and, you know, Fresh, Trinity.
Of course.
So Fresh is the first DJ that really take me under his wing. You see where I'm coming from? Fresh, man. And really just kind of show me the ropes and he'll come over by my house and thing and just help me with music and just guide me in the right direction. Because
I know St. Croix and Thomas VI is really mostly calypso and soca.
You would think it's mostly calypso. So it's like a melting pot of music, right? Of course, we have our distinct calypso, I think. But a lot of reggae. So I started out as a reggae, hardcore reggae. I actually wanted to be a sound clash DJ. I wanted to clash. I started out 45 clashing and thing.
You kidding me?
Yeah, man.
Did you ever win?
No. I did a couple 45 clashes, and then that's when Crunk, you know, that's where Crunk came in, and he was like, yo, from a business standpoint, you know, Sound Clash is not really where you need to be headed. The party scene is really, you see where I'm coming from? So I kind of shift gears now under his guidance now to go the party route. You know what I'm saying? But mind you, then, you know, I'm still saying like, yo, I'm gonna be an engineer, right? So I never thought of DJing as a career. I was just super obsessed with it and I loved it. So I went extra hard at the music, extra hard on the school side of things.
What I was impressed with, you know, going back years ago, and I've never told you this, but it was always your presentation in terms of your mixtapes and stuff. It was always well put together in terms of the mixing.
Appreciate
but the presentation, the covers and all that was always on point. You know, was that something that you decided, okay, this is what I got to do, or did somebody teach you that, or what?
I don't know, man. I just always wanted my thing them to stand out. You know, okay. I was wanted my thing them to stand out. And well, I used to rape Georgia Tech library because you could do in our library, right? It's a 24-hour library, and you could do 11 by 17 full color, 5 cents per poster. So, yo, I would be in the library late just printing posters and posters of promo. Then I would go all over the place and just put paper down the whole of Atlanta. Yeah, man.
So what made you get into radio?
Into radio. So, matter of fact, my first time DJing on the radio was with Crunk.
Okay.
You see where I'm coming from? I was 16, IL95 in St. Croix.
Yes.
Virgin Islands, a big station.
Yes.
You check out, it's like 100,000 watts.
Yes.
Pieces of Puerto Rico to hear it. You know?
In Christian Safe Registry, you hear it everywhere.
Yeah. So you know, I was ramping with Slick all them times, right? And it was probably like maybe 10, 11 o'clock in the night on IL95. He had to go handle something outside, right? So he tell me, yo, just mix. Don't mess up, just mix. That was my big break. I said, boy, ready. It was a bookshelf rhythm. Like, remember, it was a bookshelf.
Yep, Tony Kelly.
It was a bookshelf rhythm, man. And like I said, at like 15, I had my CDJs. My CDJ 800. I had a red pile mixer, the 12-inch, you know, with the EQ. You remember that?
Yeah, top of the line stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hustling, man.
Gotcha.
Like, I was leaving school with like a nut full of ones like this every day because I was selling CDs every day in between classes.
Gotcha.
I swear, a nut of ones every day like this. Wow. And I stacked like $1,700. I got the my CDJs from Pro Song and Stage Lighting. I had the magazine. I had my CDJs, and then I ordered a mixer. And boom. 15 years old, I got my whole setup in my room, and I practicing every day just because Crunk was the only person on the island with CDJs.
Gotcha.
And I would always see him scratching, and like I was so amazed with scratching. So I got my CDJs and I would be practicing scratching every day, you know. Wow. So when he told me to mix on the radio, I was like, yo, this is my big break on the radio.
How did you do?
I'm like, turn up the place.
So that was your first foray into radio?
Yes, that was my first time mixing on the radio.
How about radio here in Atlanta?
In Atlanta, in 2010? No, 2011, I got an internship at Radio 1. So I wasn't eligible for an internship at all because I wasn't going to school for anything for radio.
Gotcha.
And you have to be going to school for like mass communications
right.
To be eligible for an internship at Radio 1. So I went and spoke to my guidance counselor. I was like, boom, bam, bam, would you be able to write a letter saying that I'm eligible for an internship credit, even though I wasn't.
You know you wasn't. Wow.
I don't know. She did it. You check what he's saying? She did it.
Wow.
And DJ Cash?
Yes.
So Cash knew the lady who was in charge of the internship program, and he was able to get me an interview. So he got me the interview. So then is all on me now, you know.
Right.
But through being around Crunk from before I even came to the States, my knowledge of radio, I had a lot of knowledge of radio. So in the interview, I kind of blew her away just with my knowledge of radio and the questions that I asked. You see, I'm coming from the questions that I asked her. She didn't even know the answer to. She was like, man, I need to put you in the programming department.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because I was asking a lot of questions about BDS and ratings and all of that, Wow. So she was like, she was really taken aback, so she was like, you know what, I'm gonna definitely rock with you because just, your knowledge of radio and your energy, your vibe, and, you perfect for this internship program,
Wow. And then graduate to the Ricky Smiley show.
Yeah. That was, but it was a long road between the internship and making it on the morning show because the internship isn't an internship to put you on air. The internship is just an internship to just help you gain some knowledge about radio.
The business of radio.
Yeah, the business side of radio.
Gotcha.
Because they already got talent. They got a lot of talent on air, and then there's a long waiting list of everybody trying to get on. Wow. So as an intern, they ain't really looking for no interns to be on air. They're like, yo, give you some knowledge of the radio, boom, bam, bam, teach you this, teach you that. You pick up information along the way. and then you take that with you out of here and go figure it out. You know?
Wow.
So yeah, man. So I started out like filing papers and production orders and stuff, and then she put me in the programming department with Derek Harper, who is the PD of Magic 107.5. You know, so I interned for about a year, and then the internship program was over. It was about like I think about 40 interns or what's not, and you know, but during that time, they would have me DJ for like community events.
Really?
You know, yeah.
So they knew you were a DJ?
Yeah. Because all them times I was traveling, I was booked out of town on a regular.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, so they saw the movement. All them times I had mixtapes in every gas station selling. I had posters all over the place.
I saw it.
Stickers.
I saw those things. I'm like, wow, these guys are everywhere.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, like, I wasn't playing, man. I even had a database, probably about 100,000 emails, you know, and because remember back then Reverb Nation, well, when I was in high school, Reverb Nation was giving away free accounts and stuff, so I would hack the internet, hack people's email addresses, you know. I had
a bunch. Doesn't come after you now.
Yeah, no, I had a bunch of programs that would filter out email addresses and export the unique like I was on it, you know.
Whoa.
So from young, you know, I was building my database to promote myself, you know. So fast forward to the internship now, people at the radio station were getting my email blast too. You check what he's saying? So now they really like, okay, he booked in Houston, okay, he booked in Orlando now, he got in North Carolina, okay, he booked in the Virgin Islands. Like, yo, this guy is moving and he's an intern, you know? So, you know, so I think that really helped a lot, you know?
Did you have a booking agent at that point, or you were doing your own?
Nah, I was doing everything myself. Everything myself, you know? Everything myself.
Unbelievable.
So boom, so internship, and then I remember I was booked in the Virgin Islands for New Year's Eve, right? And I was, this is December 30th, 2011. I'm jumping on the plane to head down to St. Croix, and J1, poster child J1, he's right now he works for Pandora. He just got a big position in Pandora, so definitely big up J1. But J1 was the mix show coordinator at that time, and he gave me a call. He was like, yo, I need you 9 to midnight New Year's Eve. He said, I need you 9 to midnight New Year's Eve. I was like, oh. I said, yo.
You're getting ready to go on the plane?
Yeah, I was getting ready to go on the plane. So wait, I think that was the 29th. My booking was for the 30th, right? And just how the universe aligned everything, my ticket was to come back on New Year's Eve. I land at 7 o'clock in the evening, and I'm gonna be on air at 9 o'clock. Just so the universe line up everything.
Unbelievable.
Right? So he's like, can you do it? I'm like, yeah, I can do it. But none of us bad, like, what? You know, kind of way.
This is your first time on air mixing
on Hot 107.9. Because I know I skipped around a lot, but all during that time, me and Crunk had a show on 103.5 in the Virgin Islands that we would do from Atlanta. Okay. Saturday Night Live. Okay. You know, kind of way. So I already had a lot of experience mixing, talking, and all of that. So I was ready, but I was still nervous, you know. So New Year's Eve 2011 was my first time mixing on air, 9 to midnight, and you know.
You killed it.
Yeah, you know, like say well, when opportunity, when preparation meets opportunity, that's when the magic happens, and I was definitely prepared.
What happened after that?
After that, he was like, yo, I love what you did. Got a lot of calls, you know, because that was a very important slot to be mixing, because we do the New Year's Eve club rundown. So there's a million call-ins from every big club in the city, right? So it's a lot of money on the line. You can't mess that up. You check what he's saying?
They gave you the opportunity.
Exactly.
That's huge. That's huge.
I knock it out the park. Boom. You know. So after that, now he was like, he started to call me for select Fridays to do 2 to 4 a.m. the after party mix with B-High. B-High is one of the biggest personalities in Atlanta and around the world, just for the reach of his interviews.
Gotcha.
Definitely check out B-High, man. He's in ahead of the curve. Every big artist, he catches them before they even blow. You know?
Good.
But yeah, man, so you know, so he started putting me on 2 to 4 a.m. select Fridays, and then he gave me a permanent slot 2 to 4 a.m. And then I did that for some months, maybe about 8 to 10 months, and then he was like, you know what? Need you 5 o'clock. Wednesdays 5 o'clock traffic jam. Boom.
5 p.m.
5 o'clock traffic jam with Empress Cersei and Miss Shanika.
That's prime time.
Prime time. But you know, I was ready. Because you know, I was DJing for so long before that, you know, and I had really like not perfected my craft, but my craft was to a certain level where
it was way ahead of a lot of folks. So, you know, you may be humble and perfect, but you know, I've looked at you as being perfect for, again, many years. I've been in Atlanta now 15, 16 years, and I've been watching you and watching your progress, and I'm like, this guy is like, I just admire your grind.
I appreciate it.
I admire your grind. The Ricky Smiley Show.
Okay, so you know, so from being at the station all the time, Ricky, you know, he's seen me for years. Never really had any conversations with him. Just see me in passing or see me working or whatever. You know, of course, Beyonce, associate producer of the morning show, she would see me all the time. Boom, bam, bam, and they was like, "Yo, we need some mixes. We need some mixes because you know the morning show is syndicated, right? So every commercial break, we hand the show back over to the local markets. Right. So during that 6-minute commercial break, certain markets may only have 4 minutes of commercials, but it's a 6-minute break.
Right. So you need to fill in 2 minutes.
Exactly. So the morning show, every commercial break has a feed that we feed in pre-recorded mixes that's playing.
Gotcha.
So a smaller market, if they only have 4 minutes of commercials, after 4 minutes they punch back into that feed.
Gotcha.
So they needed mixes for that,
gotcha.
Right? So Ricky, you know, being familiar, seeing me all the time, Beyonce seeing me all the time, boom, bam, bam. They gave me the call, you know, and I started doing those mixes, and I was doing a lot of remixes, a lot of creative things, and they were really impressed with what I was doing. And it was like, after doing that for maybe about a month, Beyonce gave me the call. She was like, "Yo, Ricky wants you to come in live." I was like, "Whoa." Check what he's saying.
How many markets is he in?
We in about, I think, like between 70 and 80 markets we in.
Okay.
You know, so this is the big league. This is the extra big leagues now. You know, and yeah, man, came in. I was super early too. I remember the producer of the show, Hollywood. He like, you ain't early, aren't you? Like, you know, I say if you're on time, you're late. Just watch me.
Right.
Turn around. He even say, all right, Hollywood. But yeah, man. So I already know, man. Just deal with everything on a professional level, man. They all, you know, prepared, ready to go, and executed. Boom, you know. Call me back, and then made it official, you know.
How many years has it been now?
I've been on the morning show for going on 5 years now.
And it has opened up so many doors for you, I would imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. So before making it on the morning show, like my out-of-town bookings would always be like Caribbean events, right? So, you know, of course, being from the islands, they put you in that box after rip. Once you come to America,
of course,
that's the island guy. No matter how much hip hop you play, that's the island guy.
Of course.
And making it on the morning show now, that kind of showcase my talent and the hip hop side of things to the whole of America, basically. And then so that opened me up to a lot of hip hop and urban bookings. Check what I'm saying? So, you know, so now, you know, I built my foundation on mostly reggae and soca, right? So combine those Caribbean bookings with now the American bookings, now
triple and quadruple.
Exactly.
How often do you travel?
Almost every other week. Yeah, about almost every other week.
And what do you do? How do you coordinate it with doing the morning show and your travel schedule?
So for domestic dates, I could always fly out on a Friday.
Okay.
Right? But like if I'm going to like Dubai or like Qatar or one of those places, you know, that's like a 14, 15 hour flight. Yes. So if I have a Friday booking, a Friday night booking, I would have to leave on a Thursday.
Right.
So I would pre-record for Friday.
Okay.
And I really don't like pre-recording, but only in those instances where it's absolutely necessary to pre-record, I'll pre-record. But 95% of the time I'm there live, you know.
What does your family feel about? Because I know you said you went to school for engineering.
Yeah.
You know, back home. I mean, I'm from Nevis, by the way.
Okay.
Back home.
You know, I always thought you was Jamaican.
And everybody thinks that until I tell them. Back home, you know, our parents always want us to be doctors, lawyers, and stuff like that. You know, it doesn't come into their mind being a DJ could make money.
Yeah.
What does your parents think about what you do?
Well, put it like this. My mother, my real name is Jalayan. It's my government name. It's a government
on your passport, on your
government name. Yeah.
Wow.
Government name. Wow. And my mother gave me that name. So
was there a reason why she gave you that? Did she ever tell you?
She said she always wanted a son, and she knew when she had a son, she was gonna give him a powerful name. Okay. So she put that name together and named it Jalayan. Right?
Wow.
So yeah, man. So you know, a mother who gonna name her son Jalayan, definitely her thought patterns aren't of.
It's not typical.
Exactly.
Not typical.
You check what he's saying? So, and she, you know, just raising me, she saw the kind of person I am, extremely determined, militant, focused. Whatever I say I'm gonna do, I always get it done. You check what he's saying? So she was fully confident in me, in the fact that she knew like whatever I put my mind to, I'm gonna be successful. So she never really pushed me in any direction. You check what he's saying? So she's the number one supporter, you know? She doesn't believe in getting a 9-to-5 and having a boss, and you understand? She's more on some, you be your own boss, and you see where I'm coming from? That's her energy. You see where I'm coming from? And so yeah, man, so biggest supporter.
Does the folks in the Virgin Islands, do they realize how powerful and how big you are?
My age group and older,
really?
Definitely. Some of the younger generation, they kind of figuring out what's going on. But yeah, man, you have some people down there that really see what's going on and understand what's going on. Man.
Now you've done so much in the business, man. You've traveled the world, obviously.
Yeah.
What other aspirations do you have, whether in this business or any other business?
So music, you know, of course, I want to continue traveling the world because I haven't been, you know,
I just asked you if you've been to Australia. You said no. I was kind of surprised.
Yeah, I haven't been to Australia yet. Okay. So there's some places I haven't been yet. So I definitely want to touch everywhere in the world because man, just experiencing those cultures and playing for different people, like words can't really describe like that feeling, that experience.
What's the biggest crowd you ever played for?
23,000 people. So
where was that?
In Atlanta, birthday bash.
Okay.
So matter of fact, I just did that last weekend.
Really?
Yeah, birthday bash Atlanta.
But who's this person that have a birthday bash?
Hot 107.9.
Okay.
You know, in State Farm Arena.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. So I just did that last week. You know,
23,000 people.
23,000.
Were you nervous?
Prior to, like, always before is like your nerves a little bad.
Yeah.
But as soon as I touch that stage,
that's it.
I feel like the level of confidence that come over me.
Energy. Man.
Like every time I touch that stage, I'm like, yo, I was built for this. This is me. You see where I'm coming from? You know, I'm very quiet, very humble and thing. I keep to myself. But when I touch that stage,
it's like confidence, an alter ego.
Yeah, but a level of confidence to come over me and like I'm ready. Like I watch that crowd and be like, whoa, ready. You know?
Oh man! Now earlier I talked about Rock City, of course, and Pressure Bus Pipe and Venom Demas and those guys. Have you ever thought about, or have you done a collaboration with them?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Matter of fact, my two most successful mixtapes was with Rock City. Me and Crunkmaster Slick. On our SoundCloud, we were doing about 150,000 unique visits a day, and so we were building the SoundCloud, building a lot of mixes. Had a podcast, everything, right? And build it, and then when we dropped that the first Rock City mixtape, it just took off.
Wow!
You see where I'm coming from, and it went viral.
Yeah.
And then the amount of traffic we was getting was crazy, and then you know SoundCloud started to implement that the copyright infringement.
Yes.
So 3 strikes and you're out. So our thing got shut down once. So yeah, I was on suicide watch for a minute. Yeah.
How about artists? Have you any artists ever come to you and says, I want you to, because of your following?
Yeah.
Of course, because of the fact that you're on the Ricky Smiley show.
Yeah.
Have they ever come to you and say, I want you to endorse my particular song or my?
Yeah, I mean, when you're in this position, a lot of people are gonna, gravitate towards you. You see where I'm coming from. But until I have the whole infrastructure in place to do that, I leave it alone because I don't want to half step. Yeah, I don't want to half step. You see where I'm coming from? I need a record label in place.
Gotcha.
You see where I'm coming from? I need everything before I don't want to half step in anything. So until the whole business structure is complete and all the paperwork is done, I kind of leaving that alone.
Wow.
Yeah.
You are a role model. Do you think of yourself as a role model?
Not really. I mean, if I were to sit down and look at the trajectory of my career, I could see how one might say that.
Right.
But I never really sit, because the way I stay so humble, I never really look at what I'm doing. I'm just going. I'm still just trying to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. But if I'm able to inspire anybody, man, that's one of the greatest.
How do you stay on the grind like that? What's your sleeping patterns? Because I mean, again, I see you, I follow you on your social media, and every time I look around, you're on a plane going somewhere.
Sometimes on the plane, I might get a little nap. Like what I told you earlier before we started the interview, I've been up about 24 hours now. Yes. So if some of my words are a little slurred,
I don't think so.
I've really been up for 24 hours, But I keep a very strict diet. So I'm coming from no meat, no dairy, a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables. I make sea moss every day. I drink sea moss every day. You see where I'm coming from? And I keep a very strict regimen. I get a few naps, and I just keep going, because there's a lot of pressure, I'm on a lot of different radio shows, a lot. Wow. So the morning show is just one of them. Okay. I also do the 5 o'clock traffic jam. Right. Wednesdays, Hot 107.9 Atlanta. Thursdays, I do Hot 96.3 Indianapolis. Saturday, I do Z 107.9 Cleveland and 101.1 Cincinnati. And I also have
these are all live mixes.
So the Cleveland, Cincinnati, and Indianapolis, those are pre-recorded because they're in other markets.
Gotcha.
And I have the Saturdays. I also have a Caribbean show called the International World Jam. That's on Magic 107.5. So I'm coming from. So it's and I have to perform at the highest level. In every one of these platforms. I was on Sirius XM for some time, but I had to. It got to be too much. I had to come off a Sirius XM, but having all of those positions and you have to perform at the highest level, in every one of these positions, because everybody, radio is very competitive, and every time I'm on the radio I have to prove why I'm in this slot and not the next guy. So having to perform at the highest level in all of these platforms every single week is,
Do you think you can sustain it?
I've been doing it for years.
You've been doing it for years?
Yeah. You just have to stay focused, man. You just have to zero in, block out all the distractions, and just go for wherever you want. And don't stop.
Wow. Before we go, what advice do you have to give to young upcoming DJs? I mean, I'm pretty sure once they watch the interview, they'll pretty much learn. I'm learning. Because you're never too old to learn. But what advice do you specifically have to give to anyone that's want to get into this business?
This business ain't for everybody. Stay in school. Serious, yo. This ain't for everybody, man. If you have to be a special kind of person to be able to sustain yourself financially in this business. You understand? Because a lot of promoters, a lot of DJs are being paid like $100,
especially now.
You see where I'm coming from? And you can't sustain yourself financially making that kind of money. Wow. So you have to be this thing don't happen overnight. I've been doing this for about 17 years. I started when I was 14. And this does not happen overnight. If you're 30 years old, 35, and you just trying to enter the business, there's a 99.9% chance you're not gonna make it. You understand?
Like it's not to the level where you
you probably won't be able to sustain yourself financially off of this business. So you have to be extremely focused to make it in this game. You know, like I said, I always thought I was gonna be an engineer. You know, I went to school for engineering. I graduated, but after graduating, you know, I did interviews, and you know, for whatever reason, you see where I'm coming from. You know, having a name like Jalayan Langlocks, you see where I'm coming from. They looking at me like, yo,
you already lost.
Yeah,
an interview.
Like, yo, you have a great resume, but you don't fit the image of this company. You see where I'm coming from. So luckily, you know, I just made a conscious decision to just push the music and continue pushing the music, which I had been pushing since I was like 14 years old. So it's not something you could just jump in overnight. So like I said, man, you gotta be special, man, and you have to have some years and experience, and your grind, your drive has to surpass everybody else if you want to be successful in this thing.
Wow. What do you want your legacy to be? If you know, when push comes to shove, and you 20, 30 years down the road, and you have a legacy behind you, what do you want it to be?
Just to show that you can break the mold. You know, you can break the mold. You can bust through societal norms. You see where I'm coming from? When I made it on the radio, being Caribbean was not the cool thing to be at all. That was 10 strikes against you. Yeah. You understand? Right. 10 strikes against you. Right now, being Caribbean is the quote-unquote cool thing to be. You understand? But back then, when I was trying to get on the radio, that was not the move.
Wow. And you broke down doors. You broke down barriers.
Bust through them barriers. Yeah. You see where I'm coming from? And so I just want my legacy to be like the guy that just bust through. Because, you know, I'm not from Jamaica. I'm not from Trinidad. I'm not from New York. If you're not from those key markets, right, even more strikes against you.
You're right.
You understand?
Right.
So coming from the Virgin Islands is even harder to make it in the industry.
Yep. And when you make it, there really wasn't no Rock City or pressure at that time, really.
Yeah, they were bubbling. Yeah.
But worldwide, they were a household name.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So you know, you know, Benny D was touring with Akon. Yes. So you know, but you know.
Wow.
So,
folks, once again, it's the Ricovibes podcast. This is the Selector's Corner. Special guest today, Jalayan. His real name.
Real name.
Jalayan.
But before we finish, man, definitely got to big up Rico, because when I came to Atlanta in 2008, Rico was everywhere. He had his radio shows, all of his platforms, and you've been consistent from the first time I met you up until now, and that's very difficult to do. That's extremely difficult to be consistent and not fall off.
True.
And you've definitely stood the test of time. You triple OG in the game, you know what I mean? So I feel honored to be on Ricovibes platform right now.
Man, that's big coming from you. Thank you. Anyway, folks, Jalayan, our special guest today, the Ricovibes podcast, of course, the Selector's Corner. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Boom.
Seem like the VI lottery is the way to go. Skibbidi-bidi-bop-bop. I told her the man stop hot. Skibbidi-bidi-bop-boom. Well, when I just come in the room. Skibbidi-bidi-bop-bop. The VI lottery hot. Skibbidi-bidi-bop-boom. All my friends them winning too. Thanks to the VI lottery, I have special money. I had the winning ticket to help and support my family. Thanks to the VI lottery, my bank account look healthy. I had the winning ticket, it could have been. My name is Adam O, and I am your 2018 Soca Party Monarch Jumpy winner. And I'm here to tell you that the VI lottery is the best way to take a small chance and turn it into a big win. But wait, check this. 70% of revenue goes directly back into the community. Straight up, you could win hundreds of thousands of dollars and invest in the lives of many Virgin Islanders. With one ticket, everybody's a winner. The VI lottery hot.
Hi, this is Leon. That's right, Leon from some of your favorite movies and lead singer of Leon and the Peoples, and you're watching Ricovibes video podcast.
Hey everybody, this is Steve Bashman telling you about Ricovibes podcast. If you want to know about the latest reggae, the latest anything that has to do with entertainment around the world, Rico podcast. Tell everybody, spread the love, sprinkle the love all over the place. Steve Bashman endorsing it 110%. This is where it's at right now. Rico podcast worldwide. This is the place to be. Keep it locked.
Welcome back, folks. I was introduced to this artist by a good friend of mine, producer Don Corleone. He said to me, Rico, this artist is the future of reggae music. And some 12 years later, he was right. My featured artist today, folks, another ambassador for the Virgin Islands, Pressure Bus Pipe. The year was 2007 and he burst onto the musical scene with the Love and Affection, the big #1 single. Since then, he's become the ambassador for the Virgin Islands. I'm talking about none other than Pressure Bus Pipe. Welcome to the show, my man.
Big up, big up.
What's going on, man?
Good, good.
Let me start here. You just recently came back from the Virgin Islands.
Yes, sir.
Where you had Carnival in the Virgin Islands.
Yeah, man.
And you were the Road March winner.
Yes, sir.
Now, people are saying, what's up? From soca, from reggae to soca.
Yeah.
But they didn't know you started out doing soca.
Well, not really started out doing soca, but you know, soca is really a big part of the Virgin Islands community. Calypso, you know what I mean?
Right.
And yeah, it's a part of my genes. My father loved soca and calypso music. He had the #1 calypso radio show, and for years, you know what I mean? So, you know, me coming up and really taking on to the reggae music, and that was really my love, you know? So, you know, furthermore became a reggae artist at that, you know. But my father would always encourage me to you know, like, why not try a calypso or soca, you know what I mean, one of these days. But it was never something in my heart to do, you know. Yeah, it was never something in my heart to do, so it never really happened. And then, yeah, my father, he passed away in late December of last year.
Oh man!
You
My
know,
condolences.
Yeah, give thanks. And so, you know, still not even having soca or calypso near to my mind. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, you know, the time gonna come and I'm gonna tribute something for my father. You know, because he was a great hero to me. You know what I mean? And not just a father. He was like everything. Like, you know, so a big inspiration musically too. So I said one of these days I'm gonna dedicate a song to him, you know, and I wouldn't even expect it to be a soca song, you know. But what happened is one of my producers, Masai, you know, he was at my house and, you know, he was in the studio and playing some tracks for me, and he just, like, he slipped through this soca rhythm. It's like he's running through the rhythms and he played that, and then he's like, you know what I mean, next track. So he kind of like, I like that sound nice, and he played it again and he said, yeah, you ain't gonna do nothing on this here though. He said, I bet you won't do nothing on this. So automatically I'm like, well, you know, probably I should, you know what I mean? Because, you know, I think my father would really appreciate it, you know, but still I felt like, you know, I mean, if I'm gonna do a song, if I'm gonna do a soca song, I have to come good. You know, I can't just do a thing and people gonna say, yo, Pressure, stick to reggae music. You know what I mean? So I know how the community of especially the reggae fraternity, they judge very difficultly, they judge very hard, you know. So I was kind of like in between, you know. I wonder if I should really do it or not. But then my father just keep playing in my mind, like, listen, if you do it for anybody, man, do it for your father. You know what I mean? So the inspiration just come and say, you know something, I'm gonna just do it and done. Nobody can tell me nothing. Me just do it and just.
So that's where the name, the title came from.
And then it so happened that became the title of the song.
Yeah, do it and done.
You know, just within the midst, because I never expected it, that my whole feeling towards getting it done, which was do it and done, would actually be the title of the song, you know. So it just worked out that way within the Most High divinity, and you know, I'm grateful, and people really take on to the song in the Virgin Islands, you know, to a level. I mean, it's one thing, you know, I'm not a reggae artist, you know, but for me being, I mean, I am a reggae artist, but for me being a reggae artist and doing a soca song, I think it gives the people an extra, like, no man, we have to hear this. We have to hear this.
And then to go so far to become the road march.
You understand? So at first I was like, no man, the song ain't really road march material. It's groovy, right? But it's not really that jump up. And it's not that.
Right.
And who fooled me? Is not what I think is road march. It's what the people want as their road march.
So did that actually surprise you?
That surprised me, because in St. Thomas, a road march is a jumpy song.
Yes.
It's going to get the people them getting wild.
Yes.
And that is more reserved. That is more groovy. Like
it's a groovy soca.
It's a groovy soca. It's not nowhere near the bacchanal, right?
Yeah, for real.
So it was just one of them things. So I think that the song had really bring a lot of meaning to the industry, the calypso industry in the Virgin Islands too, where now a lot of our music, calypso music, we have a sound in the Virgin Islands like no other than anywhere in the Caribbean.
True.
You know what I mean? So
I remember Daddy Friday.
Yeah,
Jam Band and
it has a different sound, and it's like the world sound is the Trinidad sound.
Yes.
Of course the Bajan sound, that sound. So the Virgin Islands now, the people of the Virgin Islands hear this song, even though it has that Trini inspiration, right? It still give the VI people a sort of identity. Like, okay, if we could make more music like this, then we could probably have an identity in the calypso arena out there, because we have great artists, we have great band, you know what I mean? But the music hasn't transcended internationally, you know what I mean?
You can always tell the VI sound.
Yeah, but you could tell the VI sound, especially in areas where VI people know. Right?
Yes,
Atlanta, when VI people come out, you're going to hear the VI sound.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But throughout the Caribbean now, every Caribbean island knows about the Trinidad sound, the Bajan sound. They know about the Jamaican reggae sound. But the Virgin Islands has been always struggling with its identity. And we have created so much great artists. You understand? So much great talent has came out of the Virgin Islands, but yet still, what's the real identity of the music in the Virgin Islands? You know what I mean? So this is where we come in as the forefront. Reggae music is the identity of Jamaica, but it's become the identity of all Caribbean people. Soca music, this is how we identify ourselves as Caribbean people. You know what I mean? But not so much to say like, oh, that's a St. Vincent sound, that's a Bajan sound, that's a Trinidad sound, that's a St. Thomas sound, that's it, so we just have to continue putting out good music, because good music reign over all.
That's supreme,
and that's important. Yeah.
How do you feel, I consider you an ambassador for the Virgin. Even before the VI Nice song came out, I consider, when you say VI, one of the first people you think of is Pressure Bus Pipe.
Yes,
at least in the last 12 years.
Yes, sir.
How do you feel about carrying that mantle? Is it a big crown to wear? How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, of course, it's something great to know that, that people recognize you that way. But I ain't never changed who I am. I always been the humble youth, very open-minded to everything. Respecting people for their views and such like that. And I think just those very little morals can take a person very far. So I, just who I am to the people. I'm not just like Pressure and you don't see me.
Right.
You know what I mean? I go to Pueblo, I go to the Plaza Extra. We go everywhere the local people go and they see us. They could, they could reach out and say, yeah, I hear this tune. Or how you sing this song last night for me. And that's the connection with the people that we easy to reach. You know what I mean? We're not disconnected from them.
Gotcha.
So I think that really take me and the people of the Virgin Islands and the community on a whole different level.
Right.
Yeah.
Red Rose, your last album.
Yes, sir.
Talk a little bit about that album. There was a few singles off of it.
Yeah.
Did it go where you wanted it to go?
Well, my music, to be honest with you, always been a struggle reaching the forefront of the world at a timely manner, because of my independency. Pressure Bus Pipe has never been signed to any label ever in life. You understand?
You never was signed to Don Corleone?
I was working. Don Corleone was my management.
Oh, okay.
Right, and of course, we work together.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But we never had a label we never had a label agreement. We were working because of, okay, you're a great producer, I'm a great artist, and furthermore, you are a manager too. So let's put that together in paper. But as far as Pressure Bus Pipe being signed to a label or this or many of the, you know, the benefits of that other artists might have, you know. So I'm always grateful for the fact that I do have a listening fan base around the world. There are people around the world that do like, yo, when is Pressure coming with something? So because I've created that because of the music, the people actually love the music. A lot of people know my music and don't even know who is Pressure Bus Pipe. You know, because the music reaches in places that, you know, if you actually love it, you're gonna listen to it.
True.
You know what I mean? True. So I'm just grateful for the fact that even being independent for so long, that I've still made a mark globally.
I honestly didn't even realize that you were independent.
You understand? And the only song that I have that has been released by a big label, VP Records, is Love and Affection. That is the only song that in my whole entire career that has ever been released by a big record label, which is VP Records. So all the music that I've ever put out in my career has always been producer, working with producer, and they might have a link with this and that label might put it out, but I don't have. I just working with producers and keeping my music going. You know, so for me, I'm not gonna sit and be like, oh, I wish I was this. No, because I'm glad that I have a lot of freedom to create music. And to me, my happiness and my freedom to be able to create and, you know, gather my team and we make the decisions in-house as to how we're gonna deal with this and how we're gonna push forward with this project or this movement. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm grateful. You know, I'm not, you know, I mean, things could always be better. Yes, of course, you know, things could always be better, but it could be worse.
Got it.
It could be worse, and you know, and I've been through a lot in this industry. I've been through many, you know, and I'm still here putting out music. Never been discouraged, never been like, you know, I don't want to link with this person. I always try to find a way that could make me look good and help my people get their identity in this world, you know, because it's important to me, you know, coming from a small island like the Virgin Islands, you know, like a lot of people never heard about the Virgin Islands. You know, I'm not talking about the Caribbean areas where you might have VI people. I'm talking about the world. Like, people still can't believe that Pressure Bus Pipe is not from Jamaica. He is from the US Virgin Islands. You know, so I am constantly have to keep reminding people of my identity, you know, because the music has its authenticity, right? And automatically when you hear a Pressure song, him sound like a Jamaican though. Right, because of how authentic it sounds, because of how much I study the music and how I, you know, just gel with it, and you know. So,
do you think if you were a Jamaican, and this might be a loaded question, your music would be played more either in Jamaica or worldwide?
Well, maybe that it might have some truth to that. You know, it might have a lot of truth to that. You know what I mean? But the music is still being played. You know. You know, it's a thing when you're from Jamaica and you grow with selectors, you know, like in the Virgin Islands, it's a different relationship. To a lot of selectors in Jamaica, I might come off as being unreachable. You know what I mean? Like, how can we get in touch with Pressure? You know what I mean? We and him no link like that. We like him tune them, but we can't reach him for really get a dub plate, and we can't, you know what I mean? So it's a different connection versus me. I know the selectors in the VI, them and they live in the next neighborhood. So, you know, so we link easily. So it's a different, you know, and then my family is a family that's very prominent. So everybody knows, I know your family, you know my family. This is a small island, you understand? So it's different. So I wouldn't really fully be like, if I was a Jamaican, I would get this, I would get that, because I know people in Jamaica who are great artists and they don't get the love they deserve in Jamaica as well. You understand? So what is for me is always going to be for me.
Speaking of Jamaicans, Kabaka Pyramid, Contraband, you're on that album as well.
Yes, man.
What was the experience like recording with Kabaka?
Kabaka is a bad artist. He's like one of my favorite lyricists in the business right now, doing culture music. You know, Me and Kabaka linked before he even decided he gonna take this music serious, you know, and then to the point when he actually came on the scene, I'm hearing the music, but I never know it was Kabaka.
Wow.
And me and him linked from Orlando from in 2004, 2005, you know what I mean? But he never really did carry that name there. So when the music come on the scene now, I hearing it and loving it, and then a man say, yo, that's the youth there from who used to, you know? And I said, no man, and then me and him link up again, and we just say, no, music, we have to do some work, you know? And I just saw it go, but one of my real brothers in the business, you know? Yeah.
Sizzler.
Yeah, man.
Song is called Blaze It.
Blaze It.
Talk a little bit about your relationship with Sizzler, and I know you've toured with him as well.
Yes.
What's that experience like, and what's your relationship with him?
Well, you know, Dada is Dada, you know, and he's like a big brother same way, you know. Somebody you could always learn from, somebody who's always willing to teach, you know. He is one of my biggest teachers in this industry, in this music. Even before I link with Dada, he's one of the artists that I really study growing up and reggae music. Even through the inspiration, he inspired me totally a lot, you know, and helping me to find my way in life too, just through his music, you know, and helping me to seek the king too and learn more about the king too, you know. So what he did for me, even him being a big brother in the music, you know, me just being around him is bliss, you know, is total bliss, you know. And then the respect is reciprocated. When we first met up, you know, him show me, say, yeah, the music good, and he show how we really been listening to, and you know, so it's a good vibes, and you know what I mean, Dada is always that big brother spirit in the place, you know, because you know when Dada touch stage, a mad thing.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Mad thing. So you know, I'm a student still, you know. You know, also a fan and also the artist himself too. So
Slow Motion, your collaboration with Roxy. I told I was doing my research and I didn't realize that you've done a collaboration.
Well, me and Roxy been doing collaborations for years. Okay. You know, me and them, and they go elementary school together.
Wow.
Middle school together, high school together. You know what I mean? Like Timothy is my best friend from elementary school all the way up to high school. So, and they are one of my inspirations too. They've been doing music together from 6 and 7 years old. You know, when I never think I would have been doing any singing or anything, they're performing and opening shows for Ice Cube, you know, and really? Jade that came to the Virgin Islands, 6 and 7 year old, they on stage performing. So they are celebrities from young. They ain't just turned celebrity like Joe the locked away. Yeah, so they are like our #1 celebrities out of the VI from they are 6 and 7 years old. You know, they've been making moves, and you know, they've been through a lot too in the industry, you know, but they've teach me a lot through the mistakes they've made, things they've been through, and just being my little brother them too, you know what I mean? Right. So it's just always been that love. So doing music was like, it had to happen because me and them, it's bigger than music. Gotcha. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Now I heard a rumor, I don't know if it's true, you can correct me if I'm wrong. You know, Rihanna is coming out with a dancehall reggae dancehall album. All right. And I'm hearing that you may have some input in terms of writing or producing or whatever. You correct me.
Yeah, some writing in there. I think what happened is that one of my songs was redid.
Really?
Yeah, one of my songs was actually redid for the album. But you know, that's undisclosed.
So we got an exclusive, hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully it make the album. We don't even want to go ahead of ourselves, you know.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, we want to go ahead of ourselves, but you know. Yeah.
But I had to bring it up because you know it was floating around out there somewhere.
All right.
What's next for Pressure Bus Vibes?
I don't know. You know, as far as you know, I'm just the youth that just do the work, and what we're gonna do with all this work.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Gotcha. But we have the new album coming out. You know,
is there a title yet for the album?
Rebel with a Cause.
Rebel with a Cause.
Rebel with a Cause.
Why that name?
Because it's time. You know, there's so much going on around the world, and people need to rebel up. You know, it's time to really see yourself for who you really are, and stop pet with the system. You know what I mean? And we're just gonna take it back to some old, you know, roots and fire. that kind of vibes there, along with some, you know, some divinity, some upliftment and some world music too. But it's the whole entire package is to really inspire people to think for yourself and do for yourself. You know, self-sufficiency, you know, humility, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. And we can't left out the revolution. You know, but I still went ahead of myself. I released the EP, and the EP is out today. You know, on all musical platforms. It's entitled The Artist. You mentioned Slow Motion, that's on the EP. You know, we also have songs like Grown Man Cry on the EP. You know, the Soca song is on the EP. That's why we entitled the EP The Artist. You know, because the artist paint many pictures. And
is this a way of reinventing yourself, kind of?
Well, you just tampering with different genres and stuff like that. Similar to reinventing myself. You have to keep fire burning anyhow, you know what I mean? Every day the youths them, it have more youth band, and we just have to keep inspiring them. We have to touch them anyhow, even if it's an ABC song. If I have to sing an ABC song for make them youth, they say, Ray, I want to be involved in them youth, the future musically. So I have to continue making music that everybody can relate to, even the youths.
When you look at the music industry nowadays, there's so many things going on, you know, there's so many people out there on social media and all that, but through all the years, you've stayed pretty humble, pretty quiet.
I have to. I have to.
Is that by design? Is that how
you are?
Well,
I'm naturally like that, you know what I mean? I'm naturally free up and humble at the same time. You know, I put the music first. I understand what my duty is. I understand my purpose. You know, I'm still a human being, but at the end of the day, my whole thing is within the divinity. You know, I don't step out. If you say kill another black man, you can't get me to say it. You understand? If it talk about downing my own people and my community, I'm not gonna do that. Anything will have to make people laugh, enjoy themselves, anything that brings joy, anything to make people bring youth, right? Is a part of the divinity of the Most High. So I contribute myself to life in all forms. Anything that brings death and destruction, if it's not for the negative, I don't want to involve that in my music, because I know what music does for people, and it's not just fun and games all the time, you know? There is a time that you have to take your life seriously and stand for something, and not just for today, or we are party, we are pop some battles. Yeah, we can do that too, but what about the reality of the situation? What are we going to do about where we at right now as a people? You know, and that's I feel like I have a purpose in that. I have that's my way, you know, so, and I have to continue.
Who does Pressure listen to? Who's your influence? I know you listen to Sizzler. I know you have you know, your father, everybody. I listen to everything. Sometimes I listen to nothing. Sometimes I don't want to hear nothing. Like today I jump in my, I don't have nothing playing in my car right now, because I just want to hear the tire, the road. You know, I want to hear if a hand beep. I hear it and I'm not paying attention to the song. I want to pay attention to the world too and what's happening in life. You know what I mean? I don't want to be caught up in the radio every minute. You know, I want to live a little bit too, and that's all part of living. Sometimes you have to turn the radio off. You know, to recalibrate your events. You know, yeah, man. So that happens with me a lot. You know, but when I do turn on the radio, you know, Anita Baker might come on. Like yesterday, my mother jumped in the car and she's like, that's the radio you listening to, or you listening to an Al Green album? No, I actually went on Apple Music and just played Al Green music all day. Driving and taking my mother and my grandmother wherever they need to go. It's Al Green. I sit outside, she went inside to the doctor, I sit outside in the car on my phone, but some Al Green playing, yeah? And when she jumped back in the car, she said, wait, this is radio or this you playing Al Green? Like, what you know about Al Green? You know? Wow.
Like, what you mean?
Wow.
You know, so I'm just, I just have to get it where I can and reserve where I can, you know?
Now, before you go, is there a wish list of artists? You know, you talk about Al Green, you know, you've worked with Sizzler, you've worked with Kabaka Pyramid, you've worked with Rock City. Is there a wish list of artists that you want to work with?
Probably I like to do a song with Jay-Z one day, you know. Yeah, Jay-Z is an artist that I respect highly, you know, as a human being and as a musician too, you know. Yeah, I think that would.
And he's now the new billionaire out of music. So
yeah, which is right.
Not a good, good aspiration.
Which is right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We can help him spend some of that money. It's all love.
What message do you have? You know, I'm from Nevis, of course. You're from St. Thomas. You know, we're small island guys. What message do you have to give to folks back home who want to become a pressure bus pipe or whoever?
First of all, you have to just be yourself, man, and work. You know what I mean? You have to love the work. You can't just love what the work brings. And then when you get that, you're calm, you're soft. You know, go back in the studio. Right. You know, do no more work. You get caught up in the girls and all of that. You have to love the work, most importantly. You know, be yourself. You know, you're gonna hear 1,000 no's before you hear that yes. No matter what it. Some people lucky. Some people just get one no and then a million yes. Some people have to go through it, but go through it. You ain't gonna become successful until you fail. You know? So you don't feel no way from your fail. Fail again. Try again and keep going at it. You know? Yeah.
Folks, there you have it, our special guest today, Pressure Bus Pipe, representing the VI. I call him the VI ambassador. Alright. Thank you once again, my brother.
Big up.
Appreciate it.
Respect.
All right. There you have it, folks. Our featured artist this week, Pressure Bus Pipe. Oh man, where have the time gone? We've come to the end of another edition of the Ricovibes video podcast. And like I said before, if you don't already subscribe to my channel, subscribe. Ricovibes podcast at YouTube/Ricovibes. And tell a friend to subscribe as well. And share this video with your friends. Okay? So folks, until next time, when I bring to you another edition of the Ricovibes video podcast, tell a friend to log on and subscribe. See you next time, folks.